I'm not saying that everybody needs to become a billionaire or a multi-millionaire or even a millionaire, but you must be able to have basic necessities of life and have it in abundance such that you can invest and have assets into the future. Good day, everyone. My name is Lekan Abioye, and today I welcome you to my channel, Wealthcraftco, and on Facebook it is Olalekan Abioye. What am I bringing to you, my faithful followers and those that are just joining us, and then you are trying to see what we have been bringing to the people of our nation and other parts of the world in the last few weeks? Well, my topic for today is, why is it important to be rich? Why is it important to be rich? And I believe that your guess will probably be as good as my own guess. My guess is this: you might be thinking that riches is all about luxury or luxurious life, but being rich is not all about luxury. It is much more about your freedom. It is much more about giving you options. It is much more about dignity. And when you look at these three things I just mentioned now, it leads us into the keys of the importance of being rich. And I want to talk about 5 things briefly, just 5 keys within this my discussion with you. Number 1 thing that comes your way when you are rich is financial security. Many people are not secure today because they are poor. Even look at our environment. Those people who you could say today are secured are those that has the means. How do you protect yourself? How vulnerable are you when there are emergencies emerging? When there are needs for you to quickly respond to certain demands? It might be between life and death. It might be an urgency to quickly embark on a project. It might be that somebody is sick because you don't even plan to be sick. Nobody plans to be sick. So it is very, very important for one to be rich. And if I'm bringing to you this kind of information, it is for us, not only for me, but for you, for our community, for our nation, to actually be enriched, so that we are free from most of those things that bothers people, that disturb people. So financial security is one of the most important things that comes your way when you are rich. When you have emergency, it can be well taken care of. When the unexpected happens, it can be well taken care of. But if you are not rich, my brother, my sister, it is a huge disaster. It's a huge burden. And this worries me a lot. It worries me. A lot of times, there are things that happen to people. Imagine somebody whose wife is about to deliver in the hospital, and everything has been going perfectly, even before that particular period of labor. But the emergency happens, and they said, this child has to be brought out through cesarean section, CS. And this man never planned for that. The budget that they had were for normal delivery. But here is this family. You can imagine if they don't have money, if they don't have financial security, how will they raise some hundreds of thousands of naira that was never budgeted for, that was never planned for? It becomes an issue. And that is why it is important for you and I to be rich. This man can start running from pillar to post, looking for common 200,000 naira, even 100,000 naira. even 20,000 naira. But for somebody that is rich, and the doctor says, you need to pay 500,000 naira, you just say, the only thing that matters to my wife is her life and the life of our baby. If it is money, it's a done deal. And the man just bring out his check and write 500k. He's not even paying half or saying, oh, let me pay advance and I'm going to balance you later. He just pay everything in full. And at the end of the day, there is a safe delivery. Imagine in another scenario where this man does not have this kind of money. What will happen? What will happen? Now, this is one of the scenarios. We are not all praying for this, and nobody ever pray for mishap or for disaster or for sickness or for disease or for natural causes. Nobody prays for it. But you know what? The wise will always plan ahead. And that is why it is very, very important for you to be rich so that you can be financially secured when it matters most. There are some times that job will be lost. If you are not rich and you lost your job, it's a disaster. Even in other scenarios where there are inflations in the country, a lot of countries of the world right away are passing through inflation time. Even in the United Kingdom, in the United States of America, not to talk of we in Africa. But there are a lot of buffers for them in those advanced countries because we have a lot of people that are rich. And that is why my clamor for Nigerians to be rich and for Africans to be rich, so that we can be secured in the time of disaster or in these times of when things happen that we never planned for. Number 2, I want to talk about freedom of choice. There is this adage that says a beggar has no choice, but the rich, they have choice. When you have money, you have choice of, number 1, where to live. You have a choice whether you want to live in Ikeja, you want to live at Ikoyi, you want to live at Surulere, you want to live in Pretoria, you want to live in Accra, you want to live in Kano, or you want to live in a GRA. You have that choice. You have the choice to determine which school you take your children to, whether it's private school or public school. You can determine the location of where that school is. You can determine those people that you want your children to grow with. You can determine because you have a choice. You have a choice. That choice gives you that liberty. It gives you that freedom, and you are happy with yourself. Many people, they don't have that choice. Their choices are so limited. Some does not have it at all. But when you are rich, you can determine where you want to work. You can determine when you want to work. You can determine how many hours you want to work. All these things are so germane. They are so important to the totality of our being and how we live our life. There are ways through which we live, and we know that this kind of life is a quality living. And that is why I am so passionate about seeing the lives of a lot of people in our nation being transformed. And when you and I become rich, definitely our communities will be better for it, and our nation will also be better for it. Number 3, generational impact. You build for the future. You prepare for your children. You prepare for your unborn children. Your children also prepare for their own children, because there is a transference of wealth over a generation, over 2 generations, over 3 generations. There are families in Nigeria today that their wealth has been transgenerational, and it has also been generational. It has been from their forefather to their fathers to their present fathers, and also going to their children, because they have built and they have lived in abundance, and they have the wealth and the riches in abundance, such that they've been able to create wealth, they've been able to build businesses, they have structures, they have assets, they have estates, they have what their children can live on. And you know, one of the beautiful things of being rich, it creates leverage. You are not at the same pedestal with those who have not been able to be set up in such a space. So one of the critical things that you look forward to in your life is to see that you even leave wealth for your children. And I think it's very, very important that we note this. So you must be able to think about your generation. You are not thinking about yourself alone. You must be rich, and you need to be rich, and it is very, very important to be rich. But it's a choice. Earlier I said it is a must. I said it's a must because of the fact that when you look at all these things that I've just mentioned, it becomes very, very important that you see it as priority. We are not saying that everybody needs to become a billionaire or a multi-millionaire or even a millionaire, but you must be able to have basic necessities of life and have it in abundance, such that you can invest and have assets into the future. You must be able to have things in place in form of wealth, in form of assets that you can live on and you can still pass on. And it is very, very important that you do this. Number 4, I want to talk about your prominence, your importance, and voice within the community. There is a saying that says a poor man's voice is not heard. Even within your community, you can be the wisest. The wisest can be the poorest. And it is very, very crucial that we must see that we develop ourselves such that our voice can be heard. And how do you develop yourself to have this? You develop yourself when it comes to knowledge that you need to have. You develop yourself in terms of capacity that can generate income, that can generate wealth, that can generate riches for you. So that in your community, even in your family, you can be called if they want to make a decision. Today, a poor man will not be allowed to go and see a governor. As a matter of fact, a poor man may not be allowed to see the chairman of his local government. He might have a very important thing to say. He might not even have money for transport. But somebody that is rich will always get audience because he has already been able to build a leverage for himself that can enhance him getting his voice across to where it matters. So let us know very, very well that even in developing your community, your voice needed to be heard. But the voice of those people that are being heard are those ones who has the means to a larger extent. Now, this is not peculiar to Africa. It is not peculiar to Nigeria. It happens all over the world. Even the capitalist world, like the America, it happens there. Even in Britain, it happens there. In UAE, it happens there. It happens everywhere. It is those people that has leverage of wealth and riches that their voice are easily heard in a lot of places, whether in corporate organization, whether in government, whether in politics, whether in community, even in family. You and I know that it is those who are rich in our local family, in our family, in our extended family, that are being called when things that matters emerge. So you agree with me that it is important to be rich. And finally, your ability to help others. A lot of people want to help others. My grandmother used to say something while I was growing up, and she used to say, "Ara tó wù ẹ́ dá, kò ní gbé sínú ẹ̀." It means, literally, whatever thing you desire that you want to do in life, it will not perish in your mind, but you'll be able to exhibit it. Now, a lot of people want to impact truly. They want to impact their world. They want to impact their family. They want to do great things. But if they don't have the means, how will they help? The great philanthropists of the world are people with means. Great philanthropists in Nigeria today, the people like Tony Elumelu, like Dangote, Otedola, countless of them. They are there. But when you look at their number, vis-a-vis 230 million Nigerians, they are not even up to 1,000 that can truly impact heavily. But one of the things I'm really dying for is to see how we can be emancipated financially, such that you have the ability to help a cause. You have the ability to help others. A lot of foundations in advanced world, they help in research and development. They help in tackling a lot of health challenges. They help in developing vaccines. They help in innovation that transform their nations, that help humanity. If you are not rich, how will you be able to do this? Even if you desire it, how will you be able to achieve it? So your ability to help others is predicated on the fact that riches becomes very important. And there is this wise saying in the word of God that says, money answereth all things. It means that money can actually do so many things. You can send money on errands. You can make money to do so many things. However, on my platform, I will be teaching you step-by-step guide to make money and how to build wealth and how to create wealth. And from next week, or probably before the end of this month, I'll be sharing with you what it is called Money 101, your step-by-step guide to enter into your season of abundance, and then you can begin to build up for you to see that by tomorrow you are among those who are rich. In closing, riches is not about luxury and it's not about luxurious living. It is about freedom, because your freedom is very important. It is by you having options. You can determine this is what you want. And also, it can beautify you and grant you dignity that a human being should have. These are things that is beyond ordinary spraying cash or having your bank accounts just with money. But these are other emotional things that are behind you when you are rich. And it is very important, because it affects your being and it affects your dignity. Thank you very much for your time today. My name remains Lekon Abioye. Join me on TikTok, subscribe to my YouTube channel for a lot of other exciting information that is meant to change your life, to transform me, to transform you, and then to change our nation for good. God bless you, and see you another time. Thank you.